That ain't good. Alright, so the closer I look at this thing, the worse it gets. Like, look at this. I'm not even sure what the resistance value is for this anymore. It didn't exactly free itself, but, wow. Yeah. I would say it gets better. It doesn't. I don't know what I'm going to do. This part is obsolete. It is just no longer there. However, I can order individual components. I don't know what this is. I'm going to have to see if it's actually good or not. I'm thinking this is the timing circuit. It's supposed to be on a 4-hour delay, so if I can figure out how to wire in a just a standard timer to this, I should be alright. I'm just going to assume that this whole thing right here was a ground plane. Or this was the main, this might have been the main feed line. I'm going to have to see if I can't reference a part number here and see where this comes in, because I know these two are connected now, so that's a good thing. I don't know if this one just sits there, and I'm pretty sure this connected to it, or this might have just gotten so hot that it, well, I mean, it's got to. Yeah, I mean, it has to, right? And whatever is on this, I tried to wash it with, oh, look at this. Well, not try to wash it, just try to clean it with some isopropyl. Man, these things are, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these things are toast. I'm going to have to see if I can get some numbers off these. I can salvage the plug. Normally, I would be very proud of this because I would have done it. But this is just spectacular component failure. And I haven't even dug the motor out of this thing yet. So what we have here is double-sided, copper-clad PCB board. This is the stuff that we're going to be printing our circuits on. Well, I say print. There's a lot going on here, and I'm probably overcomplicating it more than I need to. But hey, we don't do simple here. Maybe. Alright, so there's no real frills or fanfare to this bit. This is just some simple sanding stuff. Not like sanding. Or like this sanding. And we're going to go with the 1000 grit. I'm basically just roughing the surface up so there's not a solid surface. If the laser were to pass over, it would beam back at the laser. I don't think that would happen. I don't know if it'd mess it up. Probably. But let's go ahead and rough our surfaces here. Yeah, about like, that might actually be too polished. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go to a lower grit here. So I may have lied. That actually that worked out pretty good. It may look like it's bright, but it is scratched to bejesus and back. It doesn't have to look like a machine did this, although we are going to be using machines for that very purpose. Okay, it's been about 2 weeks, give or take, so they should be dry. Excellent. Not drying, not fingerprinting. So let's turn them over. Oh, this one still a little bit wet, but that's fine. So now we have to wait another 3 weeks for these to dry, and I shall cut right back to you. So it's been about 6 months, and that actually looks pretty good. And it looks like we got us a chip. Okay, I've been standing here for about 12 hours. It's going to get us a little bit more dry, but this will work for now. This will serve our purposes until we start doing it. Now the object is the black surface here will be stripped away, leaving the copper, and the bits that we want will be under the paint. So when we get to the next process, we'll actually have a circuit board versus a blank stripped whatever this fiberglass wafer stuff is. But we want something as a contrast color, something that's going to look nice, kind of pop. I mean, that's not bad. I've always been a fan of red and black, but I also have some ulterior motives for these. That is not bad either. I mean, sure, a lot of PCBs are, green, but this particular shade of green I like because it's sort of industrial. If you've ever been inside a cotton mill or something like that, chances are they're going to have some plain, odd-looking paint like this because it's cheaper by the gallon. Basically, if you were to take a hammer and hit one of the machines, you could literally count the layers of how many times that machine has been painted with a paint like this. Then we have white. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just, I don't... With my vision, the way it is and has been going lately, I don't think the white would be a good choice for me because I'm having a lot of, problems. And so I want to be able to distinguish details, letters, what have you. So I'm thinking I'm going to take a look at the orange and the purple. And I may do a purple board with red highlights. Maybe. But now that our boards are dry and it's been, a few months, we're going to go ahead and take them and we're going to go ahead and set up our the laser and all the other equipment that I'm going to need. And of course, your guys are going to see that too. So stay tuned while it takes me the month from here to there. All right, now that we have our circuit board as a picture on our computer, what we're going to do is kind of zoom in. I said zoom in.
Enhance. Enhance. Enhance.
Just print the damn thing.
We can see our traces and we can see what we need to go and find was here that got burnt completely out of the board. But this part's pretty simple. So what we're going to do, that looks pretty good. Now, in order to not screw this up so bad, I have selected the grid here, so it will only allow me to make straight lines. So I'm just going to go through and find all of the straight lines that I can and do it like this. This is I'm pretty sure there's an easier way to do this and I'm overcomplicating it. The whatchamacallit program. I actually have a program specifically designed to do this, but I don't know how to use it and I don't have the time right now. It's not like, well, I do have the time, but this is kind of an important deal. I need this done as soon as possible, and I don't have time to learn a program. So I'm going to go with a way that I know that I have used before and works. Now, we are missing the area in here. So I'm going to look and see what is the best method here of... I've got a picture of the board, not scorched up. So I'm going to find the traces there. All right, so now we've got the machine set up. We got our board, and we're going to attach the device. We're going to preview where it's at. All right, so that works. All right, we got our measurements in. All right, so everything there looks good. Let me... All right, yeah, that'll work. I was just checking the size of the board in comparison there. I know we're going to lose a little bit on the sides and the bottom, but that's fine. I want it to be on the board. I can sort out details and measurements and stuff like that later. But right now, this works. So we're going to go ahead and stop. There we go. And we're going to basically get down to it. I'll be back in about a week when this is done cutting. Okay, I see a couple problems with this already. It's not going all the way through the paint, which that's not that big of an issue. What is the issue, however, though, are those two pads and that trace right there. I don't think that trace is big enough for anything. Probably going to have to go back and double check that, but we're going to let it finish up and take a look and see how at least this is going to work. Yeah, those traces are going to be way too small, so I'm going to go fatten those up in the image file, and hopefully I'll go back over this again because I can kind of see copper peeking through. I forgot to negative flip the image. The laser makes cool lights all over the room. I know I've been making a lot of jokes about time here on this project, but this thing has been going since 1 o'clock today. This is hour 10. It is 11 o'clock at night. But I must say, I think I've got the settings for this little hobby laser dialed in pretty good. I mean, that is sharp looking. Oh well, we're gonna, I guess, let this thing run and continue to do its thing. Almost 7 in the morning and this thing is still going. 8:22 and still going. So almost 9 o'clock in the morning. I started this yesterday at 1. Oh my God, it is finally done and it looks good. The little finger mark right there is, I was checking something. Apparently that's powder. Well, powdered paint now at this point on the board there. Now I've got a few more things to do. I got to make sure that this is even, because if I put the other side on there and I get, well, it'll be over here, but if I get this part wrong, then this will be a complete waste. And some of these traces I'm going to have to go in and paint back over because the pad looks like it's going to be a little bit too small for what I need it for, but other than that, it looks really good. I like how that turned out. So, there's some obvious issues. The backyard. Smoke on the ferric chloride. Oh God, it's in my eyes. Alright, let's neutralize the ferric chloride and get it painted, and we'll peel this off right here. I'm not from New England or that area. It's not the backyard. But I am thinking red for the board. I like red. We're gonna go with red. Alright, what we have here is a couple of versions of this board. Now, yeah, this board is, like I said, completely smoked. However, there are parts on here that we are going to need to get because I could not find these in time for this video. The actual delivery date of this little bit right here is somewhere between now and never. Actually, it's like October 30th something. Very hard to find. I can only find them in one spot. Super sketchy, but hopefully they'll be here. But this board isn't completely useless. I'm going to basically depopulate this board, and I'm going to pull this connector for our board, which is going to go, you know, right here. This is an exact copy of the board's layout. I have tweaked it, added a few more contact points, so maybe the problems that happened with the diodes here or this trace will, you know, not be present. The only thing left that I have to do on this board, well, outside of my terrible spelling of my own name, is populate the holes, drill the holes. I have to put the holes for all the components, the component holes. There we go. And then we have to basically populate this board, and then I'm going to test it before I even hook it anywhere near the rest of the unicorn parts. I also have to finish painting. This isn't exactly the a finished thing. I'm going to paint all of these just so it's not exposed electrical components. I'm probably going to paint these red. I really like how the board popped with this yellow, so that's why I ended up painting it yellow instead of red. So the traces are going to be red. Then we'll basically just see how everything turns out and how it works. So we're going to basically depopulate the board just so we can see all the rest of the damage. Then, like I said, we're going to take this plug right here, and then we're going to use that to transfer over to our other board. So let's go ahead and turn this on, get it started.